this is Mike from the One Stop Co-op Shop with another Kickstarter preview. Man, I've been doing a lot of these lately, but I've got another fun one for you, Runelords the board game. As always, for our Kickstarter coverage, no disclaimer needed. I just want to help you make an informed choice, but we receive no compensation for this content. And for the Runelords, there are a bunch of ways to play this, competitive, solo, and co-op. I'm going to show you the solo mode, which can also be played two-player co-op. But depending on how much they unlock in the Kickstarter, there could be other solo options as well, so lots of good content here. And to kind of give an overview of the game and the setting, this is based on the Runelords book series, which I've never read. But talking to John, the designer, and others, what I've gleaned is that there's these powerful figures called Runelords, and they get inscribed with tattoos that are kind of magically attuned to the person inscribing them. So as long as that person stays alive, they kind of have increased strength and magical abilities. But how that matters gameplay-wise is that each player is going to control a specific Runelord. In this case, I'm Craven, who's kind of this like bandit warlord guy. And I could do a bunch of deck construction for the game, but I'm just using the basic deck for Craven that they sent me, although again, I could mess around with it if I wanted to. And this is my player area here. I've got Craven, and you can have up to 2 other recruits active. For the solo and co-op game, you draw them randomly from your deck, so I've got a really powerful guy, this special range fighter, and then a Hound Master. Craven's kind of theme is that he puts out a bunch of these Force Hounds and attacks with them. And over here I've got Craven's Dedicate's Keep. That's where he keeps the people that have inscribed this power into his flesh. But basically for the game purposes, it's going to track my leveling up as I play certain cards from my deck to increase my power. Now up here I have the enemies I'll be facing in the specific scenario because the adventure mode that's played with solo and co-op is scenario driven with specific objectives you have to fulfill. And each of these is going to represent the 5 types of enemies that we'll be activating. We also have a little scenario card that tracks some special information. But at its heart, this game is a tactical skirmish game, and you'll see the enemy's 4 main recruits, these standees out, including their leader, Lord Barrick. And in this particular scenario, they're trying to come in and destroy our supplies so the town defenses can fall. So they'll be spawning these minor grunt units on these little red marked spaces. And they'll be trying to come over and destroy these crates. There's 2 more further down you can't see here. And for my objective, before they can do that, I have to defeat all of these 4 main guys. The grunts I can defeat or leave, but I have to kill all these guys. Although if I lose Craven, my last Runelord, then I die. So this enemy setup is predetermined by the game, but I get to choose where my units start, as long as none of them are within 3 of any of these main enemy units. And again, just to go over them, Craven is a melee fighter, and he can summon those hounds I had mentioned. The Hound Master helps to activate them more often, and she's a weaker ranged attacker. And then this guy, Ektumi, is a super powerful ranged attacker, so I want to kind of leverage him quickly. And as for the enemies, Barrick is by far the most dangerous. Not only is he very powerful in his own right, but every time he activates, he's going to strengthen the grunts, making them spawn more quickly. The Brigand over here is fairly weak and easy to distract. This Brute is very tough to kill, has a ton of defensive abilities. And the Renegade over there is a very powerful archer who can also help to destroy the barrels. So let's get my defenders on the board, and then I'll work through the turn and show you how everything plays out. So the Brute's kind of in my face the most. I'm sort of thinking I should set a trap for him, because he's also, I've randomly determined their activation order, and he's going to go first. So if I have one of my archers kind of near him, shooting him, then he'll rush forward, and we can try to kind of pin him down. And I know he can move 5 by looking at his activation card, so why don't I get a little bit further away than 5 from him? Although that's easier said than done. I can have Craven over here. And facing does matter in the game, and of course this is all a prototype, so we just have these little like kind of arrows at the front that show facing. Let's see, I can have my archer in the building, ready to shoot people. My other archer, I don't know. I guess he can be over here too, and we'll just kind of all span out after that guy comes down. Alright, so setup is ready. Let's talk through how the game plays. So in each round of the game, both me and the AI are going to get 5 activations. And for the AI, it's pretty simple. They're just going to go through their line of units, activating them in order. But they do still get 5 activations even as units are defeated. So like if we do take out the Brute, then they might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they'll get a double Grunt activation, and it'll kind of move from there. And we alternate these activations, starting with the enemies each turn, and my activations are similar, except I can activate my Warzone 2 and Warzone 3 recruits once per round, but I can activate my Runelord twice per round, so they can do a lot more. And as I mentioned, a lot of effects are going to put out these little token units, for me mainly hounds, and I can also activate all of my tokens once per round. So those are my 5 activations, 2 for my Runelord, 1 for each of my other Warzones, and 1 for my tokens. But let's get to our friend the Brute and see how enemy activation works. So they have these little activation cards for each unit based on the scenario, and you'll see it is different for 1-player and 2-player. I only printed out the 1-player ones, and yes, these are printouts, so sorry for the quality. First, they have their attack information at the top, and this means their range. So this guy can only attack adjacent, 1. The colored die they roll, orange, and the little dots kind of show the relative strength. Special effects they can get if they roll a diamond and or a star, a critical. Any passive abilities, this guy does extra damage when he's provoked, which means basically opportunity attacks when you try to run away from him. But here's the key thing we're looking at, their behaviors. We're going to go through one at a time, resolving as many as we can. So first, most of the enemies are going to attack someone adjacent if they can, but he can't because he's off by himself. And next, usually they'll try to move towards the preferred target. Now the value here is how far they move. If there were little lines next to it, it would indicate special movement powers like flying that affect terrain types, but here he's just normal. And he wants to move toward the nearest hex that can get him adjacent toward a non-token enemy. So he would ignore our little dogs if we had them out. And all of us are basically the same distance away. Well, let's see. 3, 7 to my Runelord. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we're all about 7. So we'll just have him go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And his number 3 behavior is pretty consistent for the other AI. It's basically an attack if he didn't already attack. So if he had gotten adjacent to somebody, he would hit us. But lucky for us, he didn't. And then enemies will have a bonus, which you can cancel with some status effects. But for him, he's getting 1 durability. That's going to cancel the first damage against him. And speaking of damage, we need to do 10 to this guy to defeat him completely. And now it comes to me, but I almost forgot. I said this was a deck construction game if you want it to be. I'm supposed to draw 5 cards. And why 5 cards? One of my dedicates keeps stats that I can level up is voice. You'll see that the first time I level up, I can get 6 max hand size, then 7, then 8, drawing up to that each turn. And you get a bunch of stuff in here. Here I've got an item I can use to stop somebody from moving. You get replacement units, so like if one of these guys died or I just wanted to kind of put somebody else in their spot, I could use the Breedmaster. Here's permanent equipment that gives you different options, so I could give Craven a whip that would let him attack at 3 range, but potentially for less damage. But the big thing I noticed is that I didn't get any of the cards that level me up yet, so I could play those like at the beginning of Craven's turn to make him more powerful, but I unfortunately can't right now. So let's go ahead and have Craven go first and try to get a dog on the board. And my units have a lot of similar stuff to the enemies you just saw. They have a move stat, note the little green symbol next to it, an attack stat, 1 range, and the weakest die a green to start until I level up. Special abilities based on what you roll on the dice. And finally, a white utility ability. And these correspond to the 3 actions each unit gets when you activate them. Basically, they can move, they can attack, or they can use a utility ability in any order they want. And nice thing is, if you don't need these, each of them has a backup. So like the white one, you can flip it just to move 1 hex. The green one you can flip to draw a card. And a fun one for a yellow alternative to attack, you can put down a trap within 7 hexes to try to kind of trick multiple enemies into taking an area of effect damage. So let's go ahead and activate Craven. And first I'll use his 5 movement. And if I can get behind this guy, then all of his defense powers don't apply. If I can get directly behind him, I do +1 damage. But the thing is, anytime I would move out of a hex face that is in his front 3 hexes, normally I would just take 1 damage for doing that, but because of the Brute special power, I would take 3 instead, which I am not interested in. So Craven can move 5. Can I get around him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. So the best I can do is get over here, not quite behind him. So I use my green action, my move. Now I'm going to use my yellow action to attack him. And attacking is super simple in the game. You just roll the indicated color die. It'll tell you how much damage you deal, and sometimes you'll have a triangle, or if you're lucky, a star symbol to activate the special abilities from your character. So I got a 2 and a triangle. Oh, very cool. The triangle gives me a haste token. That's basically a free white token that I can just keep until I want to use it, so I could like spawn an extra 4 sound. But remember, the Brute already had a durability, so I'm just going to cancel that for my first damage, and then do 1 actual damage to him out of his 10. And then I'm going to use both Craven's regular utility plus the one he just gained to spawn 2 4 sounds next to him. And these little token units tend to do very little damage. They die if they take any amount of damage or even suffer a special condition from somebody. But it doesn't mean they can't hurt people. And actually, you know what? Let's leave that open and have this guy over here. Then on his turn, he can run around to the back. Alright, so Craven's activation is done. Now we get to the grunts, which remember are kind of the main thing the enemy has to destroy my crates. And for their main stuff, you refer to this little event track here. It begins with 2 tokens on it, and that's the number of grunts I'm going to spawn when they activate, after activating any that are already on the board. And currently there are none on the board, so let's spawn some. And as I already noted, you have these little spaces indicated 1 through 6. You roll a d6, spawn the grunt there, and immediately activate them. We're going to do 2 right now. Okay, so first 4. So he comes up crawling out of the sewers. And their behavior is all about getting to those crates. First, their ready ability. If anybody's next to them, they'll deal 1 damage automatically, so you don't want to end your turn next to them without killing them. And also they have a passive ability to move right through enemies, so you can't just block them from the crates. But here's what they'll generally do. First, they'll move 3 toward the nearest crate. Then they'll try to attack it. They need to roll a triangle symbol to do a damage to it. And then they'll attack one of us if we're next to them. And this bonus is actually a misprint. Some of the stuff I have is out of date. Instead, they'll move towards a crate again if they didn't reach one yet. Just 1 space. So pretty straightforward for this grunt. Here, let's go 1, 2, 3. Attack those crates. And all we care about is a triangle or not. He got one. So 1/4 of their life is gone. If I lose all 4 life from all 3 crates, that's it. My second grunt, a 6. Oh boy, he wants to come play with Craven and everybody else. So I didn't mention, but a lot of hex sides will have these little green symbols. That means that it's a climbing hex side, so if the person moving has climbing movement abilities, they can move through them freely. But if they don't, they end their move after moving over 1. So these guys will go 1, 2, 3. Luckily they won't hurt any of us, but he's going to attack that crate. And good, he misses. No triangle, which means it's my turn to activate another friend over here. So this guy can move 3 for a green. He can shoot up to 5 away with an orange die and maybe deal +1 damage. Or even flip his movement effect back over and move again. And he has +1 movement for every token I control, so he can become super fast. But for now, no reason to get tricky. You can shoot through 1 green hex side, but not 2, so I can just shoot right at that guy now. Although, actually, yeah, I've got enough movement. Let's go 1, 2... No, wait, that's right. I'd have to stop after I move through there. I was thinking I would jump through the window and then come over here and shoot him in the back. But no such luck. Let's just attack him. Ooh, nice! A crit! So that's 4 damage in both his specials. That'll raise it up to 5 damage. Silly me. I should have used the green token to draw a card. Remember, that's one of the abilities. Although, I couldn't have because I haven't played any cards yet. You have to go down below your hand size before you can do that. But this super tough guy is now down to 6 life out of 10. I really like that. Oh, darn it. I just realized I could have actually done it. Because look, I could have used my move to go 1, 2, 3. And then use my white utility action to move a single space. So we'll go ahead and do it now, even though I missed my chance to do +1 damage against him. Alright, now our pesky ranged unit is going. And her behavior is pretty straightforward. She just wants to get within 7 of a crate. And then her normal attack range is 5, so she'll shoot anybody within 5. She's not doing that right now. But she will take away a single cube from a crate within 7. So if we don't take her out, she'll help the grunts to end the game quickly. Oh no, I just realized I forgot a major rule that'll make things tougher. Luckily, we're not too far in. At the beginning of every enemy activation, except for the grunts, you draw a card from this tactic deck. And half of this is generic, but half of it is matching to the scenario. So let's go back to the Brute. Let's see what would have happened. Okay, sprained wrist targeting the most damaged marksman. Well, I've got 2, so I could have picked. And oh, it'll lower their attack by 1 level. So I'll say it went on my Houndmaster since she hasn't gone yet. That'll bring her down from a blue die to a green die permanently unless I can get a card from my deck that'll heal the effect. And now the tactic for the marksman that just activated. Okay, Overwatch. You'll see a lot of these will say they equip specific people, so this one equips the Renegade. Oh, now whenever an enemy within 7 spaces in line of sight begins movement, deal 1 to them. So that'll make my Hound super useless if they get near her. Alright, well, we want to take her out next, maybe. But apart from that misstep, we did resolve the rest of her turn. She took off the cube. She is done. Now it's back to me. I could activate Craven again, or have the Houndmaster go. And I think Craven makes sense. He's already next to the guy. So he'll use his utility action again to spawn another Hound. We can just surround this guy, try to finish him off, and then go get the grunts. Then he's going to attack with his little dinky green attack. Just 1 more damage. Now I still can't draw with my leftover green action because my hand is full. But something really cool in the game is that you can discard cards from your hand to use an action associated with somebody else or with an item. So like for example, I could spend my yellow action, my attack, to discard the Ravager and do his really advanced melee attack with even like my weak range fighter over here. Or something I think I will want to do later, I can rush somebody with a green action. I could even do that with Craven right now. Rush means you basically pick yourself up and move up to that many spaces towards the enemy. And I would stun them, taking away their bonus action, and reduce their combat die by 1 level, by 1 color for the rest of the game. That's pretty awesome, but I think I want to save that for somebody like the boss. So yeah, as much as it hurts, I'm not going to move Craven. He'll just hang out there because I don't want to move and take 3 damage from that guy. Okay, we're coming down to the Brigand. Let's see what he wants to do. But first, not going to forget this time. Let's draw a tactic. Commanding Shout. 2 grunt tokens immediately activate. If Lord Beric is the active villain, all grunts activate instead. Well, there are only 2 out, but Beric's not the one acting anyway, so they'll just both activate. And their activation is going to be very basic. They're just going to attack the boxes. That guy misses. And this guy also looking for a triangle. Hits. Wow, this one is almost already gone. Now for the Brigand himself, he's another melee fighter. He tries to attack Marksman first, and then he moves. That's the little green line I was talking about. He can move through green hex sides freely. So he moves towards the nearest enemy 4, tries to attack them, and then flips the utility action of the nearest enemy, if they still have it. So let's see, I guess it'd be him, 6. Yeah, they're equidistant, so I can choose. I'll have him kind of stay out in the open some. There we go. And this guy's nearest, but his utility's already flipped, so no worries from that. Alright, let's have my last regular unit go, then we'll activate my hounds at the end. She can shoot at range 5, but only for a green now because of the negative token on her. But for her white, she can activate a Force Hound. That's great. So I think I'll do that first. And I'll choose the one that I left not next to the Brute, and he can get right behind. That's a direct flanking attack. It'll be +1 damage if he hits. Because my little token guys roll the black die, which misses 50% of the time. But let's see if we get lucky. Yes! So it's 1 damage. They don't have a triangle power, but +1 for flanking him. He is down to 1 life, folks. And I'm sure the Houndmaster can oblige him, even with her attack value gone down. Let's see, does she want to move out? No, if she moves out, she won't be able to get around to him. So she'll just come here and shoot through the window. And she's rolling a green, not that it matters too much. Oh, she did get a triangle, which would have done +1 damage if it was next to a monstrous ally. So wow, I guess she should have attacked first and saved the dog activation, because she just did 3 damage all by herself. So there we go, he is defeated, which is, remember, both a blessing and a curse, because now the other enemies will activate more often. But I am kind of 1/4 of the way toward victory, although Lord Beric is so tough, it's not really that easy. And speaking of Lord Beric, he's coming to call. And the first thing he does each activation is add a cube to the event track. So that means now we're going to spawn 3 grunts every turn if we can. And it says over here on the left, but if we get up to 5 cubes here, all the grunts will start attacking with blue dice and be more likely to hit those cubes away. And Beric's tactic, Battle Fatigue. Equip the active villain, that's him. Enemies attacking this villain cannot trigger their triangle or their star events. Wow. And generally speaking, the only way to get rid of these equipments, like Beric's and the Marksman's one, is for them to draw a new equipment, in which case they'll get rid of the old one. Now for Beric's activation, he's pretty simple. He'll attack my Runelord or move toward my Runelord. He just wants to kill me. So he's coming 5 towards me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yikes. And that's it for the enemy's turns. The only thing left to do is activate my tokens. So each of these dogs can run up to 5 and then attack. Let's have this one try to kill the recruit before he takes away any cubes there. 1 damage will get rid of him, but I still need to actually roll a hit. No luck there. So the second dog will try the same. Beautiful. I mean, that one's going to go away anyway, so I'm not as worried about that guy. He can't get around the Brigand. He can't get around Lord Beric. Oh, sure, he can start hitting the Brigand. Or I should say, maybe hitting him. Oh, there we go. 1 damage. All right. And with that, the round is over. I can discard as many cards as I want. Let's see. Sickum. This lets me activate all my Force Hounds. I'm not that impressed by that. Bolas is nice because I can use somebody's white utility ability out of turn to stop someone from moving. So, for example, since this guy's within 3 of Beric, I can stop Beric from moving and basically skip almost his entire turn. So I think I'll keep that and the Ravager because I like the idea of using his little rush ability. And I'll discard the other 3. And interesting, I got a Salve Kit and Lick Wounds, 2 healing abilities. And maybe my strongest guy, this huge, what is he, like a Manticore or something? So actually, with that in mind, I'd kind of love to get the Houndmaster in harm's way, get her killed, and free up a spot for him to jump in. But that'll have to wait for later, because we are skipping our friend the Brute and going right to the Grunt, which remember means that they're going to activate twice this turn as it wraps back around, skipping him again. First, we activate all the Grunts already on the map, which is just this one guy, and darn it, he does finish off this first set of crates. And his bonus is still to move 1 towards the closest crate, so there he goes. Then we're going to spawn and activate 3 more. We got a 5. So let's see, I guess 1, 2, 3, plus the bonus. A 6. They just love coming in here. Oh, and he's going to attack one of my guys after moving. We can say the one further away. Yep, that's enough. The final one's coming out at 4, so also running down here, plus the bonus movement. Wow, they are all over here. Oh, I forgot to roll for him to attack the barrels. Oh, good, he misses. And I do think she's the next most dangerous person since she's going to help them destroy the crates. So let's actually activate my range guy as a counter and run up to her. Remember, he's got +1 movement for each token. He has to get within 5 of her, so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that would work. Now, he is moving in front of this guy, so he'll take 1 damage, but once you've taken a damage from a given unit, they won't attack you anymore, so you don't take, like, multiple opportunity attacks from the same guy. So he's down to 10 life, just 1 damage. Oh, I forgot my Bolas plan. So let's go here instead so we can still throw him at Lord Barrick and stop him from moving. Alright, he's going to shoot at her. Yes, another crit. So that's 4 +1, 5, and he gets his green action back in case, I don't know, I want to draw a card. I don't want to move him and have her Overwatch hit him. She's got 7 life, by the way, so that was an amazing roll there. Alright, he still has his green action, but I can't draw because my hand is full. I don't want to use his white yet because I want to throw the Bolas, so I'm going to stop there. And she did not like that one bit. Let's draw our tactic card. Oh, I hate this one. Invincible. Equip the Brute. It would have made him become more and more difficult to hurt. But guess what? The Brute is no more. So that card is just wasted. And the only thing that gets her to move is if she's not within 7 of a crate. So she's going to move up to 5. Then she'll attack me if she can within 7. And if not, she'll just attack whichever of my guys has the most damage, which will be the guy that's attacked her. So if she moves over a green hex, her turn will end. So she wants to get as close to the crates as she can, avoiding that. And then here she'll stop moving. And she's 8 away from the crate, but she can definitely shoot him. And actually... Nope, she can't shoot my Runelord either, so yeah, she'll attack him. Blue die. 3 damage and her triangle. Which for her, is bleed. Every time that guy attacks, he'll take 2 unpreventable damage. Alright then, now we know she gives as good as she gets. I think we should probably have Craven go make some more hounds and also attack some of these grunts. And actually, you know what? Instead of attacking, I think Craven's going to put down a trap, because that has the potential to do area of effect damage, and that's more fun than just hitting one guy. So you can pick a hex within 7 spaces, and when somebody tries to move, either on that hex or in a space adjacent to it, the trap triggers. And you can also pick a facing, so I'll go like that, and it'll more likely go and affect that direction, so I could kill both those grunts with one go. Now I will use his utility action to summon a Force Hound right next to me, so that's 3 on the board. And do I want to move? I guess I'm okay for now. Our friendly Brigand is up. Exhaustion. Equip the active villain. Adjacent enemies cannot move, so once we get next to Barrick, we won't be able to leave him. But a good thing is his battle fatigue goes away, so he'll be easier to hurt. Meanwhile, the Brigand is going to attack the guy next to him, so that's good. He'll just waste his attack on the dog. And don't even need to roll. That guy's gone. And he's going to move 4 toward the nearest enemy. Oh, and actually, that's not great. He's going to go towards my little ranged girl here, and he can move freely through green. And if she attacks, since she's a ranged character, she only rolls a single black die, the weakest one, if she tries to attack him in melee. And he also uses his power to flip her utility action, so, oh well. Alright, for my third activation, let's have Craven go his second time. And I am going to have him run up. Maybe I should have last time. Let's get close to Barrick to attack him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but not next to him. And he'll spawn a hound right over there. And I like my trap idea, so let's set a trap for this guy. Speaking of Barrick, he is up. He's going to put a 4th cube on the grunt card. And what do he get? Slay them all. Deal 1 damage to all enemies for each grunt adjacent to them. If Lord Barrick is the acting villain, deal 2 instead. Well, mostly lucky here. The only person adjacent to a grunt is one of my dogs. That means I'm down to 2 now. And then Lord Barrick wants to come over and smack my Runelord. But I'm finally playing a card. We're going to use our Bolas. That is going to take my ranged guy's utility action, and it'll stop him from moving, so he won't get to attack either. And I just realized I was dumb and put my Hound where he'll get killed if he tries to move because of the archer over there. So I'll activate the Houndmaster, have her take a damage, and run away. And then she'll do a weak little green attack against Barrick. Oh, nice! She does +1 if they're next to a Monstrous ally. They're not. But look, she gains a plus attack damage. If that cancels out to the negative, she's back to blue. If she gets that again, she'll go up to orange. And Barrick's taking his first damage, 3. Now he's got 30, so it's just a drop in the bucket, but it's a start. And I was going to have her activate a Force Hound, but I forgot he took away her utility action, so I guess she's just done. And now, because I defeated the Brute, we're going back to the Grunts for a second try. And the rough thing is, all 4 of these guys are going to activate, which means if they get killed by the traps, they'll be available to spawn and activate again. So maybe I should have just hit them instead of doing the traps, but we'll see how it goes. So we can do these in whatever order, and I'll go and have this guy activate first. And before he moves, I draw the top trap card. Okay, and here it's Poison Darts. So I'm going to roll a die based on the color of the trap. These are all white. So there's a green die. You'll see that on a diamond, I'll deal +1. On a star, I'll deal the damage I roll to every recruit in line, which means I would also hit that guy. And either way, I'm going to put poison on the guy I hit and everyone behind, which just means they can't heal. But for recruits, if they take a poison, they die automatically. So I don't even have to roll. Both these guys are dead, but again, they'll spawn in pretty much immediately. Okay, another trap here. Oh, more poison darts. That made it easy. But sadly, no darts are going to be stopping this guy, and he did hit the crates. Now we're going to spawn all 4 of the remaining grunts. So one comes out in 6, but luckily has to go the long way around, doesn't attack. One comes out in 4, does a damage to that guy automatically, and then runs away. Another guy comes out in 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I guess he's just going to hang out there until he gets a full turn. And another 6. All right. So at least a trap might be more effective here. All right, all I've got left to activate are my hounds. The one up north is useless because he'll get shot by the archer. But this one, let's see. He can go and try to take out this guy off by himself because, again, we're maybe going to be able to trap them. Hey, there we go. Got him. And the star effect would have made him bleed, which would have been great on one of the main enemy units, but it doesn't matter for a grunt. All right, we're to the end of another turn. I'm definitely going to keep the lurker above. I don't think I need all these healing effects, and I guess just hanging on to the Ravager is not really helping me. I'll get rid of 3 of these, draw back up to 5, and try to get one of those level up cards. Aha, and there we go. Facilitator is the card I was looking for, so I have 2 level ups, plus a permanent armor boost I can equip, and a Warhorn. But our friendly injured archer is going to activate before we get to do anything. No, Assassinate. This is automatic damage. Okay, to a non-Runelord, the most damaged one. Deal 5. If Barrick was active, deal 8 instead. Oh, wow. That gets this guy to... Yeah, he'll be at 10 out of 11, which means if he bleeds from attacking, he'll be dead. So suddenly those healing effects I threw away seem like they might have been pretty useful. Okay, and then she just needs to move a single move down to be in range of the nearest crate. And she's also in range of my Runelord, so she'll shoot him and take 1 away from the crate. For just 2 damage and no special effect. But even though I know he's going to die from doing it, I think I'll activate him and go ahead and take her out. Actually, you know what? I won't, because I want to activate Craven first, because I can get some cards out of my hand, and I can use his movement to draw. So I'm going to equip Craven with this Hide of Mayun armor. It means that now whenever my tokens activate, he can activate 2, so he can attack and move when my hounds do. It also means that all monstrous recruits deal +1 when provoked. So if I get some creatures out, they'll be able to do more opportunity damage. So to equip it, I have to use my attack action, so that'll put it on me, but then it just stays there forever. And I'm also going to use 2 facilitators. I can discard as many as I want to level up once for each. And you can increase your life, your movement, your card draw, lots of cool things, but for this scenario, I'm going to go for heavy damage. Now I roll an orange instead of a green. And speaking of a green, no point in moving yet, since she'll just shoot me with Overwatch, so I'll just have him draw a card. Ooh, another facilitator? Yes! And next is our buddy the Brigand, and he's clearly going to chase her down. You just +1 damage automatically when flanking. Oof, so that's 4 plus triangle. That's going to make her bleed, and she only has 3 life left, so after she attacks, she'll be nearly dead. And I'll also take away her utility power. Oops, and I forgot to draw a card for him. Pillage, remove 1 cube from the nearest barrel. If Lord Barrick is the active villain, do 2 instead. All right, this is getting pretty desperate. I think I have to charge in and attack Barrick. I'm going to activate Craven again. Could use the facilitator to get him to a purple die? Sure. Then I'm going to move. I'm going to take a damage from the Overwatch. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Get behind for the extra damage. I'll spawn a Force Hound right here behind our archer friend to take her out in a second, hopefully. Oh, wait, that's right. My archer's going to do that. So I'll put him here instead to run around Barrick easier. Then I'm attacking with my new and improved die. Oh, awesome. 4 damage and both effects. So that means I'll get a bonus white action to summon another hound. Oh, and I can activate a Horse Hound I control. Oh, once again, I was dumb. I should have put him next to her like I thought, because if he moves, she'll kill him, so I'm just not going to use it. But I will spawn 1 more hound there for when it matters in a second. All right, Barrick's going, which means all of these guys are supercharged now. Oh no, we equipped the active villain, which means we can move away from him. That part's good. But look, he has plus attack when attacking enemy rogues. Guess what my Runelord is? So Beric is turning to face me and attack him with that same souped-up die, but I have way less life than he does. Okay, that was actually a pretty bad result for the purple die. 3 in a triangle. So that's plus 1 damage in cleave, so that'll be 4. And cleave means he would have done 2 damage to my guys if they were here or here, so good thing my hounds weren't around. Oh man, but oof, I'm at 7 out of 14 damage. And Beric's bonus is that if he's down to 15 life or less, he also takes away cubes from crates. But he's still got 23 life at the moment. Alright, I thought I was going to attack the archer, but I forgot something. And what I forgot is these guys. Although, honestly, do I want to kill them? It'll take them a while to move over there, so maybe I do activate the archer and shoot his guy. So sure, first thing I'll do is use his move action to draw on the hunt. Remove the active recruit from the battlefield and immediately deploy it. If the active recruit is monstrous, spawn 1 force hound on the hex the removed recruit was on. I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean that he comes back with full life? Yeah, I think it does. I think he redeploys healed, so we'll do that, sure. But first he'll attack her. And 3, yep, that's enough. So she is dead. We're down to just Beric and the other guy and a ton of recruits. Oh wait, I'm dumb. The second he attacks, he's going to bleed and die, so I can't use that on the hunt ability. Oh well. Next turn, I'll summon my lurker above and try to mess up some people. Now we're back to the grunts, then we're going to do the brigand again before the turn is over. And they're rolling blues, not greens now. But I think I can activate in whatever order, so let's do it kind of suboptimally and have this guy go first and attack. And he does get it, but that'll keep him just moving 1 toward the next one. The rest of them are going to charge over. 1, 2, 3, plus 1. 1, 2, 3, and I guess he'll hang out. And 1, 2, 3, plus 1. Yeah, I gotta get somebody in there to slow them down. All right, but first, let's have her attack before the guy kills her. She doesn't have her utility power to activate a hound, but she can get a blue attack off. Nice! Oh, man, she's rolling so great. Oh, so her attack goes up to the next level, which won't matter. And he's not next to a monstrous ally, so she doesn't do extra damage. It's just 4. But he's down to 11, almost halfway there. But then she bleeds for 2 damage. She only has 1 left, and the brigand's about to attack her. She used her green action to draw. Oh, feint. Nice. If they get a really good roll, I can cancel it. All right, speaking of the brigand, he draws ground. Oh, we would cripple all enemies with flying. Luckily, none of my guys have it. And then clearly he's going to defeat her. So I'm down 2 units, but Craven don't care. Let's smack this guy. So I'm going to activate all of my dogs. This one can go behind him. And hopefully roll a hit to take advantage of the plus 1 damage. Yes, so that'll be 2. And this guy can get there. Oh my gosh! Okay, that's 2 more, and he's bleeding now, which is 2 damage whenever he attacks. That got him to 15. He's halfway dead. Oh, this other dog is on a green space, which means he couldn't move after he moves off. Okay, so I guess that was indeed dumb again. We'll just have him go there. And then Craven can attack. That's what's really good about this. Oh my gosh, 5, and he can activate a hound. And what's the other one? Oh, he gets another free white action for later. Well, hey, let's have my flanking hound attack again. Oh, man! Okay, so you can't bleed somebody, you can't put the same effect on them a second time, but that means an automatic damage. So he's 2, plus 1 for the flanking, plus 1 for the token he would have placed, so that's 4 more damage. And I think we have a good chance here. We've got 9, 18, 21, 24. He needs 6 more damage to die, although he's going to activate before we get the chance. But the question is, can I get somebody in play to stop those grunts from just smashing the last crates? Well, to that end, I think I'm going to get rid of everything except the lurker above and hopefully draw another unit. I got a facilitator. I mean, that's cool, but draw 2 cards. That might work to get me another unit. Got another one of the On the Hunt cards. And Alpha Hal. Force hounds you control gain plus 1 die type until end of turn. If the recruit using action is your Runelord, apply minus 1 die type to all enemies within 7. That would have been amazing earlier, but at this point, I mean, I think Beric will die pretty easily anyway. Speaking of Beric, he is first to activate, but he's going to take 2 damage after he attacks. Beautiful. Trapped Battlefield. If one player, place a white trap on the hex of the recruits in deployment zone 2 and 3. Yeah, guess where my units in 2 and 3 are. Good luck trapping those hexes. So instead he's going to smack me really hard. Oh, wow, he rolled the literally only side that doesn't have anything special. 3 damage. All right, now I have to deal with this in some immediate way. So here's my idea. I can play my lurker above. And this guy is on my spawn hex. I can pick anywhere adjacent to it to put a new unit out. And oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I had to sell what he can do. Look at this. He can mana core it up and breathe a poison cloud within 3 spaces in kind of like an increasing arc to his front. So I'm going to do that for his white action. And boom, boom, boom. Bye. They'll spawn again, but hopefully not close to this. And then he will turn and smack this guy almost in the back for +1 damage. He rolls an orange. Boom! What is that, 4? So the triangle effect doesn't apply because this guy is not crippled, but look, he is now on fire, which means after he activates, he's going to take 1 damage. That was literally the perfect result because he's got exactly 1 life left. He's going to take a fairly inconsequential turn instead of being skipped, and then he will die, and if I can just finish off Barrick, that will be it, folks. Okay, but first these guys are activating, so he'll go 1, 2, and he'll attack me. And just doing 2, not bad. But then I gotta spawn a ton of these guys. I'll just summarize the results. So lucky for me, they all spawned on the side. They did get this 1 force hound. And this guy gets another one. But yeah, they're pretty much all to the east, so I think I'm gonna win this. And you know what? When Barrick activated, I forgot. He automatically took 1 cube away from there. I gotta kill that guy. So let's have Craven go and just try to smash him. But before I attack, let's use another facilitator. I don't think I need more damage. What do I need? Well, whatever. I'll do triangle, gives me +1 attack. I need to do 4 damage here. And that'll be 5, plus I can activate a force hound. Nice. So he's done. And I'll have this force hound try to kill that guy. And yes, he got him. Awesome. And I think I better run down because I gotta help finish off. Oh, no, that's right. The Brigand's gonna die after he activates. Yeah, so the Brigand is going. Let's see. Unless this tactic card heals him. Equip the Brigand. This recruit does not trigger provocation and may move through enemies. Yeah, good try running away, but you're on fire after you attack my giant tiger creature. Blah, you die. So there you go. That was a solo playthrough of the Runelords. Good thing I got my mana core at the end to poison cloud these guys before they came over and destroyed that. And yeah, go check out the Kickstarter page once it's live. They also have competitive play, deck construction, a lot of cool things to see. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.